Oh, didn't catch you there. Hi, my name is Calvin, and the time right now is 12:15 p.m. But as you know, time is not the same all across the earth. It is currently 4:15 a.m. in the UK. This is because the earth is constantly spinning and only one half is exposed to the sun. This means that when it's day on one side, it's always night on the opposite. But each part of the earth has its own time zone, depending on where the sun rises and where it goes down. Now, if you didn't catch me right there, you can always reverse and rewind the video. But can you reverse time?
A man goes riding by.
To time travel, we have to go faster than the speed of light. But how fast is the speed of light? The speed of light is approximately 299,792,458 meters per second. To give you a perspective of how fast that is, the average plane travels 244 meters per second. That means the speed of light is 1,228,657.615 times the speed of a plane. Ignoring the technical limitations that we have now, what if I was able to travel faster than the speed of light and travel to the past? Before that, if I traveled before I was born, would I still be alive? Yes and no. Well, logically not alive as I don't exist yet, and am still in the same universe and the same timeline. But the 20th century philosopher David Lewis once said there are two types of time: external time and personal time. The external time is the time around you, the time the universe follows, and personal time is your own sense of time. Meaning, if I were to travel back before I was born, in the external time, I don't exist. But in my personal time, I do. Einstein once said that time is like a flowing river. You can never touch the same water twice, but when you do touch the water, you create a ripple in the water that flows forward. Meaning your actions will affect the future. Time travel raises the question of paradoxes. One of the most debated paradoxes is the grandfather paradox. If someone were to go back in time and kill his own grandfather, with no grandfather, one of the man's parents would have never been born. Therefore, the man himself would have never been born in the first place. Meaning there would be nobody to go back in time and kill the grandfather in the first place. But that is just the past. How about traveling to the future? The slow pill is a theoretical pill that will cause your brain and body to slow down. But to you, it seems as everything is going super fast. People who walk past you will seem to just buzz by at the speed of light. Everything's a blur. This brings back the idea of personal and external time. When you take the pill, your mind and body slows down, so to you, the normal external time goes by in an instant. Let's say 5 minutes later, the pill's effect suddenly stops. Now what? Did I just travel to the future? Again, the answer is yes and no. For myself, my personal time tells me that I did, but the outside world was just going at its own pace, so therefore I didn't. With this logic, there are many possible ways of time travel. The slow pill is no different than going to prison and being released 30 years later. Let's say a man was in prison during 1975. He was released 30 years later in the year 2015. When he goes out, what does he see? People are talking into pieces of metal. Everyone has wires coming out of their ears, and now this one piece of metal can not only do what all of these did, but it can do it better. You can now share a moment in an instant. You can figuratively have the whole world in your hands. To this guy, the world is alien to him. He is living in the future. The only difference between him and the time pill is that the time pill will make 30 years happen in an instant. But that's not your perception of time travel, is it? The time travel that you're thinking of is stepping into a machine and traveling beyond our time period. Sort of like stepping into the TARDIS in Doctor Who. Suppose that we could achieve this, there are continuity errors in this. An example presented is a story from Superman. An author was struggling to create a biography of Superman. Superman takes pity, goes to the future, buys a copy of the book, and goes back in time and gives it to the author. And the author plagiarizes the book and releases it. The copy sells marvelously. The question now is who came up with this idea? As the author took the idea from the future self, how did the future self had the idea originally? This is one of the continuity errors. It just becomes another paradox like the grandfather paradox. Ultimately, there are two views on time travel, fatalism and determinism. These two theories argue whether or not time travel is possible. Fatalism argue that whatever is going to happen will happen. It was already determined at the beginning of time, sort of like fate. But determinists believe that if you have the knowledge of the futures, your actions can change it. An example would be, if I were to know that I would die in a car crash tomorrow, then fatalists would say that it will definitely happen. There is no way of changing the future. But determinists would say that if I were now aware of the fact that I will be cautious while driving more carefully, then I could potentially lead to me avoiding my death. If I were to go with the idea of fatalism and accept the fact that I would die tomorrow in a car accident, then what would happen if I were to stay in my apartment on the 30th floor? This would mean that a car accident would be impossible. Would this prove the fatalist wrong and create a new timeline where I don't die? Or will fate make itself right and kill me in another way? So that's basically time travel in a nutshell. If you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye! Right now, it's 12:06